Hello guys, welcome to another video about English grammar. So today we're going to cover a new topic, which one is there and it. But previously to start, I would like to introduce about the book that I'm using now. So the book that I'm using is the English Grammar in Use by the author Raymond Murphy. It's the 50th edition, and it's a book made for English grammar learners. So let's start it. The unit that today we're going to check is the unit 84, which one is there and it. So today we're gonna try to explain what's the difference between of them, in which context we can use what's the difference. So let's start it. We use there when we're talking about something for the first time to say that exists. For example, there's a new restaurant in Hill Street. I'm sorry, I'm late. There was a lot of traffic. No, it was a lot of traffic. Things are very expensive now. There has been a big rise in cost of living. So check it out in all of these sentences. All of them express existence. Like there is a new restaurant. Check it out. There is a new restaurant. We are talking about that exists a new restaurant. We are talking about today existences. In the next one, I'm sorry, I'm late. There was a lot of traffic. There was a lot of traffic. Check it out. We say there was a lot of traffic. We are talking about that exists a lot of traffic. The next one, things are very expensive now. There has been a big rise in the cost of living. We are talking about that the cost of living exists and is still rising, so all of them express existence. So let's move on. The next part is it. So what exactly mean it in this context? So it means a specific thing, place, fact, situation, and even though feelings. Like for example, we went to the new restaurant. It's very good. It's very good. Check out the expression it's very good. It's referring to the restaurant. So when we use it, we are referring to the restaurant, to the object restaurant. So in that case, in this specific context, it means restaurant. So the next one, I wasn't expecting her to call me. It was a completely surprise. So it was a completely surprise. Check it out. It means that she called. The action that she called means it. So it refers that she called me, So it means a specific thing. In that case, that she called. So let's compare there and it. For example, I like this town. There's a lot of to do here. There's a lot of to do here. It's an interesting place. So check it out. There's a lot of to do here. We're talking about that exists a lot of things to do in this place. Okay? We're talking about to the existence. But the next phrase like it. It's an interesting place. We are referring to the town, in this case, this town. So there's a lot of to do here. We're talking about that exists many things to do in this place, and it's an interesting place. We are saying that this town is interesting because there is a lot of things to do here. So there's also mean to add in that place. So we can also use there's like prepositions. In this case, there. For example, the house is unoccupied. So check it out. There's nobody living there. There's nobody living there. So we are using there in order to refer a place. In this case, in the house. So another example would be this image. Check out this image. The lady says, there's a new restaurant in Hill Street, but the man answered, the man replied, yes, I know, I hear. It's a very good. Check it out. The lady the lady said, there's a new restaurant. She's talking about that exists a new restaurant. But the man, yes, I know, I heard. It's very good. Check it out. He's referring to this restaurant, to that restaurant, through by the preposition, by the pronoun it, it's. So let's move on to section B. You can say there will be, there must be, there might be, there must have been, there should have been, there would have been, there is sure to be, there is bound to be, there is going to be, there is likely to be, there is supposed to be, and there used to be. So all of them express existence. Check it out. There will be. We're talking about that something will be exist in the future. There will be. Oh, there must be. There must be. So we're talking about that something must be exist. We're talking about to the obligation. We're talking about that something must to exist. The next one, there might be. We're talking about to the probability. We're talking about that something probably exists. You know. There must have been. There must have been. So we're talking about to the obligation. You know, there must have been, but in the past. You know, there should have been. We're talking about to the advice would be, but the same way in the past, there would have been. The same way we're talking about to hypothetical situation, imaginary situation, but it's taken in the past, you know. And the same way, there is sure to be, there is bound to be, there is going to be, there is sure to be, there is bound to be means the same. It's like it's probably. We're talking about to the probability. There is going to be. We're talking about that something it's clear that's gonna happen. There's likely to be. We're talking about to the probability as well, like a 50-50. It's like a probably happen. There is supposed to be. We're talking about the suppositions, like a. There used to be. We're talking about that something you used to do in the past, but in the present, not. So an example like of this some example of there would be, is there a flight to Rome tonight? Is there a flight to Rome tonight? There might be. I'll check online. Check it out. Is there a flight to Rome tonight? We're talking about if exists any flight to Rome tonight. So there might be. We're talking about to the probability. You know, there might be. There something probably exists. The next one, if people drove more carefully, there wouldn't be so many accidents. If people drove more carefully, there wouldn't be so many accidents. So, in that case, there wouldn't be. We're talking about to the hypothetical situation. This is the second conditional. The next one, it could hear some music coming from the house. There must have been somebody at home. I could hear some music coming from the house. There must have been somebody at home. The same idea, we're expressing existences. But maybe this is it's more like you're 100% sure. It's like you are not 100%. You are not 100% sure that somebody at home, but it's like a 90%, 80%. Okay, it's like a deduction. They must have been somebody at home because you have some proof about that. Maybe the proof is that you can hear music coming from that house. You know. There's bound to be a cafe somewhere near here. There's sure to be. Remember, there's bound to be and there sure is the same, has the same meaning. Both mean like probably. Let's move on. Compare there and it. So this is a good one. Basically, in these examples, explain what's the difference between them, or maybe what's like a small line between of them. In that example, they live on a busy road. They live on a busy road. There must be a lot of noise from the traffic. The next one, they live on a busy road. It must be very noisy. So check it out. The first one express existences. In that case, there are a lot of noise came from to the traffic. Okay, there must be a lot of noise from the traffic. So basically, the noisy came from the traffic. Okay, exists because there is a lot of traffic. But the second one, it must be very noisy. Okay, we are referring not that the fact that the noise came from to the traffic. We are talking about more specific that the fact living on the busy road, it's very noisy. Okay, so in that case, it makes refers to living on a busy road. Okay, let's move on to the next one. There used to be a cinema here, but it closed a few years ago. That building is now a supermarket. It used to be a cinema. So, check it out. There used to be. We are talking about that in the past, it used to exist and a cinema here, but it closed a few years ago. We are talking about to the existence. But in the second one, it used to be a cinema, right? We are referring that building through to the pronoun it. In that case, it used to be a cinema. With it, we are referring to that building. Which one is now a supermarket. There's sure to be a flight to Rome tonight. There's sure to be a flight to Rome tonight. And the next one, there's a flight to Rome tonight, but it's sure to be full. Check it out. The first one, there's sure to be a flight to Rome tonight. We are talking about that exists a flight to a Rome tonight. We are talking about the existence. But the second one, we are saying that the flight is sure to be full. So we are using the pronoun it in order to refer to the fly. In this case, there's a fly around tonight. It's made in refers to the fly to Rome tonight. So let's move on to the section C. So we say it's dangerous to walk in the road. Not to walk in the road is dangerous. So normally we use it at the beginning of the sentences like this. Some more examples like it didn't take us long to get here. Or it's a shame that you can't come to the party. Or it's not worth waiting any longer. Let's go. So we also use it to talk about distance, time, and weather. Like, how far is it from here to the airport? Or it's a long time since we last saw you. So compare it and there. It was windy, but there was a cold wind. So remember, we use the pronoun it when we want to talk about something. In that case, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to walk in the road. Okay. We normally use it at the beginning of the sentence, like this example. This is a good example. I didn't take us too long to get here. It's a shame. It's a war, because we're talking about specific things. In this case, it's a shame. It's like a shame is like a feeling, you know. It's no words as well. We're talking about the thing. We're not talking about the people, like she, he, or they. No, we're talking about the things. We also use it to talk about distance. That's a good one. And in this example, it's a good one because it's comparing it and there. Check it out. It was windy. It was windy. We're talking about to the weather things, you know. But there was a lot of cold wind. So in the second one, there was a cold wind. We're talking about that existed something. In this case, it's a cold wind. So the first one, we're referring a specific thing, in this case, weather, and the second one, we're talking about to the existence. In that case, a cold wind. Okay, let's move on to the exercise part. So let's start it. Put in there is, was, or it is was. Some examples are a question, like is there, or was it, and etc. And some are negative, like there isn't, or it wasn't, and etc. So let's start with the first one. The journey took a long time. There was a lot of traffic. Check it out. There was a lot of traffic. The second one. What's a new restaurant like? Is it good? What's a new restaurant like? Is it good? So check it out. In the first one, we're talking about to the existence. Like there was a lot of traffic, you know. But in the second one, we're referring to the object, in that case the restaurant. What's a new restaurant like? Is it good? You know, we're talking about specific things. Next one. There is something wrong with the washing machine. It's not working properly. There is something wrong with the washing machine. It's not working properly. So we're talking about that something exists, something wrong exists with the washing machine, right? The fourth one. I wanted to visit the museum yesterday, but there wasn't enough time. Check it out. We're talking about that there wasn't exist enough time. We're talking about that doesn't exist enough time, you know. The next one. What's that new building over there? What's that new building over there? Is it a hotel? So using it in order to refer to the building, you know. So in that case, that building is a hotel, it's asking, you know. The next one, how can we get across the river? How can we get across the river? Is there a bridge? Is there a bridge? So we are asking about to the existence, like is there a bridge? Does exist a bridge or something like that? The next one, a few days ago there was a big storm which caused a lot of damage. A few days ago there was a big storm which caused a lot of damage. We are talking about the existence. There was, but in the past. I can't find my phone. It isn't in my bag. I just look. So I can't find my phone. It isn't in my bag. We're talking about a specific thing, in that case, the phone. You know. There wasn't anything interesting on TV, so I turned it off. So there wasn't, we're talking about the existence. We couldn't find anything interesting on TV, doesn't exist anything interesting. Next one, it is often very cold here, but there isn't much snow. There isn't much snow. So the first one, it is, because we are talking about two unspecific things, and it is the weather. Remember, weather, we can refer weather with the pronoun it. It is. There isn't much snow, because we are talking about to the existence. We're talking about that there is not doesn't exist snow. Okay, let's move to the next one. I couldn't see anything. It was completely dark. It was completely dark. Check it out. It was, because we are referring we're talking about a specific thing. I couldn't see anything. It was completely dark. We're talking about today. We couldn't see. Okay. The next one, is there a book shop near here? Is there a bookshop near here? Yes, there is, or there isn't. There is, or there's one in Hanson Street. Why? Because is there is more like a question to know if exists a bookshop near here. That's why is there a bookshop near here? And the answer has to be the same. Yes, there's one in Hampton Street, or there is it one in Hampton Street. Both of these are correct. There's or it's, because the first one there's because we're talking about the existence, and the second one because we are referring to a specific thing. Both of them are correct. It is difficult to get a job right now. There's a lot of unemployment, so it is difficult to get a job right now, because we're talking about a specific thing. We're talking about things. And the second one, because we're talking about today existence, like there's a lot of unemployment. When we go to the cinema, there was a queue outside. It was a very long queue, so we decided not to wait. So let's move on to the next part. Read the first sentence and then write a sentence beginning with there. Like, for example, the roads were busy yesterday. There was a lot of traffic. Oh, the soup, it's very salty. there is too much salty in the soup, right? The next one. The box was empty. There was nothing in the box. The next one. About 50 people came to the meeting. There were about 50 people at the meeting. The field is very violent. There is a lot of violence in the field. I like this town. It's lively. There is a lot of to do in this town. So, let's move on to the next part. So what's exactly the difference between both of them? Oh, the first one expressed like a specific thing, like the road were busy yesterday. So check it out, the road, a specific thing. This soup, we're talking about a specific thing. This soup, it's very salty, right? It's an object, it's nothing. The box is a thing. About 50 people is a thing. I mean, not like a thing. The film is, check it out. The film is a specific thing. We're talking about the things. I like this tone. It's lively. Check it out. It's lively. We're using it because we are referring to the object, in this case, this town, right? But in the second part, we're talking about to the existence, like there was a lot of traffic. We're talking about to exist a lot of traffic. There's too much salt in the soup, so we're talking about to exist a lot of salt. Exist too much salt in the soup. There was nothing in the books, so we're talking about that. We're talking about that doesn't exist anything in the box. You know, there isn't anything in the box. There were about 50 people at the meeting. We're talking about that exist 50 people at the meeting, and the same in the next examples. So let's move on. Complete the sentences. Use there would be, there used to be, and etc. Choose from won't, may, would, wouldn't, should, used to, is going to. So let's start with the first one. If people drove more carefully, there would be fewer accidents. Let's move on to the next one. Do we have any eggs? I'm not sure. There may be some in the fridge. Next one. I think everything will be okay. There won't be any problem. Look at those clouds. There is going to be a storm. I'm sure of it. There isn't a school in the village. There used to be one. It closed a few years ago. People drive too fast on this road. I think there shouldn't be a speed limit. If people weren't so aggressive, there wouldn't be any wars. Are these sentences okay? Change it to there where necessary. Like, they live on a busy road. It must be a lot of noise. There must be a lot of noise. The second one. It's a long way from my house to the nearest shop. That's okay. Why? It's a long way from my house to the nearest shop. Let's analyze to this section. Okay, we also use it to talk about distance, time, and weather. So in that example, it's a long way from my house to the nearest shop. We're talking about the distance, so that's why it's okay. The first one we change there must be, because the sentences they live on a busy road. It must be a lot of noise. So we're talking about the existence. That's why we use theirs. So next one. After the lecture, it will be an opportunity to ask questions. After the lecture, it will be an opportunity to ask questions. There will be an opportunity to ask questions. We use there because we are talking about today. We have the possibility to ask questions. We are talking about the existing things. In this case, there will be. Okay. Number 4. Why was she so unfriendly? It must have been a reason. Why was she so unfriendly? It must have been a reason. So the correct answer is there must have been a reason. There must have been a reason because we are talking about to the existence, right? We are not referring to the previous object like she was so friendly because it's another thing. We're talking about to the reason, so that's different thing. And we are saying that exists. I like where I live, but I would be nicer to live by the sea. That's okay. So I like where I live. So that's the first sentence. But it would be, check it out. We use it because we are referring to the previous object, or in this case, the previous fact that it's I like where I live. You know, that we are referring to the previous object. That's why we use it, and it's okay. The next one. How long is it since you last went to the theater? How long is it since you last went to the theater? So that's okay igual because we're talking about how long is it since you last went to the theater. We use it because we're talking about to the duration. You know, we're talking about to the time, weather, and duration. In that case, how long, we're talking about the duration. It's a double question for duration. Next example. It used to be a lot of tourists here, but not many come now. It used to be a lot of tourists here, but not many come now. There used to be a lot of tourists. There used to be a lot of tourists. So we use there because we're talking about the existence. We're talking about that there used to be a lot of tourists. So in the past. The next one. My phone won't work here. It's no signal. My phone won't work here. It's no signal. So the correct answer is there's no signal because we're talking about the existence. The next one. It was Ken's birthday yesterday. We had a party. It was Ken's birthday yesterday. We had a party. At the same time, it's okay. The next one. We won't have any problem parking the car. It's sure to be a car parked somewhere. So let's fix it. There's sure to be a car parked somewhere. So why? Because we are talking about the existence. We are not referring to the previous object. In that case, parking the car, it's different thing. I'm sorry about what happened. It was my fault. The same. It was my fault. Check it out. We are referring to the previous object. It was my fault. I'm sorry about what happened. The first thing, you know, it was my fault. So we are talking about to the specific thing. In that case, I'm sorry about what happened. I was told what it would be somebody to meet me at the station, but it wasn't anybody. It was told that it would be somebody to meet me at the station, but it wasn't anybody. So the correct answer is there would be somebody, right? There would be somebody to meet me at the station, but there wasn't anybody. We're using there because we're talking about the existing as well. So there would be somebody. We're talking about that exists somebody, to meet me at the station, but there wasn't anybody. So there wasn't because there was no anybody here. So we're talking about that no exist. We're talking about that. We're talking about to the no exist anybody in that place. There isn't anybody. So that's why we use there, because we're talking about the existence. So guys, that's all for this video. I hope you find interesting this topic. If you like, please just give me a like, leave me your comment if you have one, and I hope to see you the next time.